Alright, so now we done met each other, got familiar with everybody. Everybody know a little bit of the background and where we from, what we do, and where we trying to go. We all trying to get to the same place. I'm gonna go into the technical side, which the mental is more important than the technical. That little thing I just showed y'all, I'm telling y'all, it seems like a weird little trick, but if you apply that into your life and into your goals, it'll cut out having to listen. All that other stuff is fuel to the fire to keep you motivated, to keep you pumped up. That's why you listen to sermons. That's why you listen to motivational speakers. That's why you go to trainers. But if you got it up here, once you make up your mind that you're going to do something, ain't nothing going to stop you. But we're going to get into the technical side, which is good to know, but it's not the end all. You can pay somebody $600-700 to do all of this stuff for you, and you focus on financing your truck, getting your trailer, and driving. Before we get into that, how many of y'all been on my website? It seems like most of y'all know me from Instagram and a couple of referrals and in person. Well, it's 7 books. This book right here, How to Make $250,000 a Year with a Criminal Record and No College Degree. This was my very first book. I made this 100% off my cell phone in my truck. Anybody can do that. $5,000 a week is $250 a year. My first year, my personal truck did $277,000. I used to write all my loads down by hand. All right. Anybody can do that with a truck. Truckloads 101. This is a textbook. It shows you how to evaluate loads for profit. But what you was talking about, saying if I was bluffing or not, this book right here, if you open it, has real rate confirmations in it with my trucking company's name on it and nothing blotted out. Any of them numbers can call to be fact checked. Then I took it a step further and took different loads and took the real rate confirmation. For y'all that don't know, a rate confirmation is the contract, that you get from a broker when you agree to haul a load. It tells you what you're picking up, where you're picking up, and how much it pays. I took real ones and took maps to show you the route visually. Then I broke the math down for profit. This how much the load pays. This how much your fuel costs are. These are your tolls. This is your net profit prior to taxes and maintenance. Maintenance is a variable. Everybody's maintenance cost is going to be different. Then I left a blank page for you to practice your math. Like when you're in math class doing textbooks, I planned on having that stuff on the screen. It didn't come. We got to do what we got to do. The Freight Broker Index. This book is worth $2,000. All right. I paid a research company to compile a list of every freight broker in the United States of America and put them in alphabetical order, name, phone number, address, so y'all can call them and book loads. So this book, as boring as it seems, is very valuable. Okay. The Authority Cheat Sheet. This is not a book. This is the authority application filled out by an FMCSA employee that I paid for, so y'all don't have to pay somebody to do your authority application. If you open this on the website and print it or have a dual screen and go question by question, all of the answers to your authority application will be on there, and because a lot of people mess up doing their authority application. All right, this book, Hood Rich, How to Travel for Free and Make $400,000 to $500,000 a year. I beefed it up, and the people that I was specifically marketing, the criminals and convicts and felons, the people that I didn't get showing them how to live the lifestyle they was trying to achieve through drugs and crime that don't exist no more, I tried to capture through this. Now, through gaining knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and effort, I beefed up that 250 and did over 500,000 gross this last year, 518. Thank you. I paid about 3 people to translate this for me. Nobody can understand my handwriting. So $5,000 later, I sat down and rewrote it. And put everything I didn't put in there in here, as well as everything that's in there. And some new experiences to make people get a little bit more interested. So this is a commentary on this book. The longer you do something, the better you get at it. And so if anybody ever seen Court when the people are typing, so what I had to do was read my own book, which I could barely understand, my own handwriting. And for the record, y'all need to understand this. You don't have to be real smart for this, book smart. You have to be intelligent, and you got to have some strive in you. I could barely read. And if you read something I wrote, I can barely spell. I was in special education, all of this. But through going back and forth to prison, I started reading. Then I started changing what I'm reading, and the hustle that was inside of me is what drove me, that allowed me to do this stuff. But you don't have to be book smart. If you failed out of school and all this stuff, you can pay people to do that stuff. Long story short, I read this book after rewriting it by hand and paid a transcriptionist company, like the people that type in court, to type this stuff out for you. So I invested a lot of time and money into this stuff that I'm giving to y'all for free. Raw, the truth about trucking. I saw people only telling y'all the good stuff. This got the bad stuff in there. Who was that was talking about they want to know the bad side? Me. Right. There you go, right here. All this on the website. As well as this. This has just been added to the website, but I text this to everybody who texts that slick text. Now, for the people who gotta go, where is it? All this can be summed up in 3 steps. I put 4, but it's really 3. You start off as a company driver, which a lot of people are in here. If you are disciplined, all right, you can get into the owner-operator realm. The only reason anybody should be a company driver is to learn how to drive and to take the hunger out of your stomach, to get a couple paychecks under your belt. After 3 to 6 months, you have enough skill to become an owner-operator. You don't know everything, but a lot of people call me and got money, and y'all only see what I'm allowed to show y'all, but y'all really don't understand the type of people that I deal with in the underworld. And people want to go and buy trucks because they got money and they don't know how to drive. And it's some things you can only learn by fucking it up. And those fuck-ups cost you thousands of dollars in repairs. Become a company driver. Learn how to drive on their dime. 3 to 6 months is good enough. I know people who went straight into it and made it, but I'm telling you, this is a safer bet. Get into the owner-operator round. 10 grand will get you there. Not with your authority as an owner-operator. That's a sufficient enough down payment, depending on credit and how much the truck costs. That will get you in the owner-operator space, what will allow you to make $2,500, $3,000, $3,500 a week, which will afford you the ability to save $15,000 in a year. It's 52 weeks in a year. If you save $300 a week, that's roughly $15,000 in a year. You already got your truck. That's going to get you your trailer and your insurance down payment, so you can ultimately upgrade your life after saving your $10,000 maintenance fund. I'm telling you, life is funny. It always hits you in the most inconvenient times. It don't happen when you're looking for it. It hits you in the back of the head. It pull your hoodie over your eyes. And we used to say bank. They bank you. It's one problem catastrophe. They say bad things come in threes. That's how it hits you, which is a good sign, because when all things start going bad, that's when, You right on the edge of a breaking point. It's trying to test you to see if you deserve it. If you fold, you won't get it. You got to keep on pushing. It's on the operative realm. If you didn't make enough money when you were over here trying to learn how to manage your truck and drive it so you won't tear up your truck, if you still don't have the money, get into a lease purchase program. These lease purchase programs are fickle. Some of them sell you a dream to gain a driver. Some of them are based on your relationship with your dispatcher. If you are always calling your dispatcher complaining, I gotta go home, I got caught, I gotta get my kids, I gotta see the doctor, I'm tired, or I don't want this load, it don't pay enough. You giving loads back. What incentive does a dispatcher, I'm not talking about a dispatcher that was sold a dispatch course. I'm talking about an employee of a company that distributes the flow of traffic. It's not right, but it's the way that it is. Favoritism. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. If you are a problem driver, they're not going to be giving you choice loads. And that's why you hear bad reports about these owner-operator positions where they did these leases. If you're in a bad lease, they're walk-away leases. Leave. You don't give a company no longer than 6 weeks to see what a real income is going to be. Because your only goal over here is for you to get here. All right? That's the whole of trucking right here. You give each one of these 6 months, 1 year. That's 18 months. You can do it in less than that if you're ambitious and you're willing to cut everything out. I can stop this right now. That's all you need to know. All of this shit you can pay somebody, but we're going to go through each one of the steps. I got 21 here. Getting your CDL, setting up your legal structure, filing for your EIN, filing for your operating authority, which I have over there, signing up to the load board, finding a truck and trailer, your insurance, your vehicle state inspections, which is different from a roadside inspection. Your 2290 heavy highway use tax, which you have to get in order to get tags. Your IFTA, which is your international fuel tax agreement. Your factoring companies, which pay you the same day or next day as opposed to waiting for a broker to pay you 30 days later. Also, fuel cards, charge accounts, working 21 days local. When you file for your authority, you're not allowed to cross state lines immediately. Your authority is 2 numbers, your MC and your DOT number. Your DOT number allows you to work intrastate, inside of the state of Maryland. Your MC allows you to cross state lines. All right, your MC number takes 21 days to become active. So if you go out and put to the last dollar to get started, like I did, and then think you about to run straight out there and get to the money, it's going to be a rude awakening. You have to work 21 days local, which is difficult in Maryland because the way our state is shaped. 50 miles, you can be in Pennsylvania, Delaware, West Virginia, or Virginia, or DC. So now if we was in Pennsylvania, you could drive 6 hours and from Pittsburgh to Pennsylvania, and you can make your money. Or if you was in Texas, you could run strictly off a DOT number, which would decrease your insurance closer to like a car note insurance as opposed to you paying a couple $1,000s a month in insurance. But you would be restricted to that state. Where are we at? Work 21 days local. Then once you're allowed to cross states, save $10,000 for your maintenance fund. You're not rich once you start getting a few $1,000s a week. It's hood rich. That's why I was taught that you can't teach somebody something unless you can prove it works for yourself. Okay, I am not rich, for the record. A lot of people think that I'm not. I make a few $1,000s a week in pocket. I make $400,000 or $500,000 a year any given time, and I keep about half of that, and I give away about half of that. Y'all truly don't understand all the stuff that I do behind the scenes, not just with this information, but people's lives that I'm investing in. Seeing them succeed because nobody did it to me. None of them older guys that we was idolizing, that was running these strips, that was catching bodies, that was having all the cars and the truck jewelry and all that. Not one of them ever came back and said, "What's up, homie? I see what you doing. Why don't you try this while you got it before you lose it and then be trying to figure out what to do now?" Ain't nobody told me that, so that's what I go back and do. I help y'all publicly, but it's other stuff that I got going on. Run for a 4 year. You're not going to understand trucking unless you get a 4 year. We got seasons, summer, spring, winter, fall, and life. All right, it's not always sunshine. All right, you need to understand the pits and valleys of the flow of freight in the different. Right now, we're in the downtown. Mid-December to the end of February, mid-March is the slope. And people all these master truckers, trucking's dead. I'm getting rid of no, brother. You just ain't been around and you following the trend and you don't know what the hell you talking about. Give it a few more months. This pendulum gonna swing back around, and then you're gonna be a trucking hero in summertime. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta watch these guys. Paperwork and filings. There's certain paperwork that you gotta file every year. Well, there's some quarterly, IFTA. You can get away with filing it every year, but you can't go over a year because they'll freeze your IFTA account if you don't pay them. Then you have your yearly filings, then you got one biannual filing, which we're gonna get into all that. I'm doing a rundown right now. Inspections. Not the state inspection that you need to get your tags, but the inspections that you need to do on your own truck so you can know what's wrong with it. A mechanic has an eye that we don't have, whether we live in trucks, drive trucks, deal with them, whatever. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. A trained mechanic is going to catch stuff that you are not. And you need to get your inspections every season or every 25,000 miles. You're supposed to get one once a year for sure. Some owner-operated companies will make you get them, I think it's Fleet Field Company. Every 45 days you gotta get a DOT inspection. Make sure you stand up on your maintenance on your truck. But if you let small problems go, they're gonna turn into bigger problems. Then it's gonna cost you thousands of dollars. You're gonna be on the side of the road hurting, trying to figure out what's going on. Then your audits. All right, every year within your first year, you're going to get an audit. Yes, your first one is education. So don't panic. They just trying to see, all right, is he doing what he or she doing what he's supposed to be doing? Or if they not, let's show them what they need to be doing so they can be prepared for later. All right, that audit is going to come no matter what. I had an audit in 2012. I didn't even own a truck. I was operating off a dream. I was working for a company and I filed my authority so I could get access to the load board. So that's why I really don't have a lot of sympathy for people. I have empathy for them where everybody don't want it as bad. You know what I'm saying? When I first came home Friday nights, I was hanging down the truck stop. They got a section in there down at TA, they got trucking magazines. I was looking up prices of trucks. I was hanging at mechanic lots. That's how I got my first job. Where's ski mask go? There you go. Because wouldn't nobody fuck with me. I was hanging at the mechanic lot. He referred me to somebody who wouldn't take me, who referred me to somebody who hired me, who I thought I was working for, which I found out I was working for somebody else. And that became my first trucking job. Without a driving test, nobody would fuck with me because of my criminal record. I've been locked up for all type of shit. Every drug you can name, those drugs from then. Cocaine, heroin, marijuana, they in all type of shit now. I used to sell counterfeit money, the Secret Service locked me up. They followed me, it was under investigation. They boxed me in on all sides, attempt murder, guns, all type of stuff. So it's not over. This is the beginning. And the main thing is that you got it in your mind. Because why? What we were talking about earlier, sending out signals. Your mind's sending out a signal. Now you gotta get your emotions invested in it so you can want it bad enough so you be willing to do whatever it takes to get it, and then you eventually get it. If you don't believe me, I'm living proof, bro. I'm a black tea boy, big black tea, big ass niggas. 21, enjoy. After you get all of that stuff in order and you got your safety net together, enjoy yourself. Because what are you doing it for? If you're not careful, you're gonna be like one of these guys, and it's mostly guys, because back then it was male dominated. Now it's more females in it because of lack of men out here, despite the fact that there's all these males. There ain't no men. This shit is ridiculous. I really hate talking to people sometimes when they call me crying and shit. They be sounding like bitches. That's what it is. But because of that, we got more females coming in, which is good. And if y'all ain't careful, y'all gonna get left behind. So y'all better man up. Alright. Number one, get your CDL. Why do I put this first? I don't want nobody getting no truck without a CDL. This is not what they selling y'all. You not about to buy a truck, lay back, and play the game if that's what you into. Or watch the game if you're into sports. I personally don't do neither. Drivers have a high turnover rate. Alright? We talked about it earlier. This is what you would make as a driver. This is what they're gonna make. They have days off. They got stuff they don't want to do. They want to refuse loads. They get their first big check and want to quit, think they rich. I had drivers making $3,000 a week. Can you believe that? I was paying 30% of a load and still having problems with drivers. Can you believe that? You making $3,000 a week? Huh? Yeah, but we talked about that earlier when I was expressing how you'll make more money with smaller companies. What I was doing was creating an incubator where I was saying, look, all right, I'm going to be good regardless. Why? Because that's how God made me. Not even talking spiritually, I've always been a hustler. I have always made money. You not find nobody that will ever tell you I was a bum in history. Even when I was a little boy, I would go out and rake leaves and cut grass. Go to the, they squeezy boys now. And I go to the grocery store, help people. Hey man, you need help with your bags? That's who I am. I'm always gonna get it. I'm trying to help y'all get it. I'm good. All right, it's up to y'all to take advantage of me while I'm here. But the point is, drivers are going to be, it's going to be a high turnover with drivers, and they're going to cost you a lot of money in maintenance. And if you fell for the driver dream, talk to some of your close friends, or you may get more information from a stranger because they don't know you, and they'll tell you the real deal. If you ain't scaling past 7 units paid for, you ain't making no profit with drivers. You're making money, and it's coming in the door and it's leaving out the window. And there's going to be times, say your truck is parked somewhere. You want to pay somebody to come move your truck every time something happens. They parked and they blocking somebody in. Hey, you such and such trucking. We're going to tow your truck if you don't move. Now he laid up in bed, or she. Now you got to pay somebody to move the truck. Or they ain't answering the phone because after Friday, once people get that check, all right, they know you need something. What do you want? Looking at it right there. Fuck you want. And it's gonna cost you money every time you need something. So I suggest, me personally, if you're going to own a truck, have a CDL. You don't have to. Are there people out here who make it who never drive? Yes. Are they telling you the full story? No. Trust me, I talk to all the big boys. I know. People businesses, they business. I know what's happening out here. If you don't believe me, that's on y'all. Find out the hard way. Legal structure. You can set up an INC, LLC, sole proprietorship, or a partnership. You can get fancy with it and want to do trust and all. Everybody in this generational wealth and shit, giving poor people, rich people information. You ain't got a few $100,000. What the fuck you need to do all that for? Get your LLC. Because the INC is good, but it's going to require you to meet certain standards. Like you're going to have to have certain meetings every year. You're going to have to take minutes. All of that shit. Your main focus right now is to get some money. You do exceptionally well. You can go back and change that stuff. Cool. Or some people are under the theory you start off correctly, you're incorrectly. That's fine. But if you want to put all your money into paying all these people to start all this shit, cool. Do your thing. You trying to hurry up and take a little bit of money to make a nice amount of money so you can upgrade your life and live comfortably without the stress and the hassle of a day-to-day 9-to-5 job working for somebody who you believe you're smarter than do your thing. But you get an LLC, that's going to be the easiest way. It allows you to do your taxes two different type of ways. You can put your business taxes and file that as your personal taxes, or you can separate it, file your business taxes, give yourself a salary, and pay yourself out of that. Then you'll be paying taxes two ways, but it's simpler. And I'm not a tax professional, so I would leave that up to y'all to pay a paid professional to give you tax advice. And every state is different, but it's simpler to do an LLC. Your EIN, this is free. This is your business social security number. You're going to need this in order to fill out applications when you're trying to get credit cards, business credit, open different accounts for them to talk about down there. Long story short, you need your EIN. You're going to need that even to open a business bank account, along with your articles of incorporation from your legal structure. So this is free. Get your CDL, file your legal structure, get your EIN. Operating authority. Your operating authority is going to cost you about $300. You can pay somebody to do it. There's going to be a little upcharge, or you can go through my books. I got it there free. I paid somebody for you. That application will take you less than a half an hour to fill it out. Once you get your operating authority, it's not going to be active. You're going to have it. I'll tell you a story about perseverance. I was working on a dream. Remember I was talking about if you got it up here, this stuff don't matter. I filed my operating authority in 2012. I came home 2010, August 31st. I didn't even own a truck then, but I knew where I was headed. Another thing, it don't happen overnight, but it will happen. So you just can't give up. Some plants take longer to grow than others. So an elephant takes longer, and I think it's 2 years elephant pregnant. A human being, 9 months. But look how big an elephant is. Big dreams take longer to come into fruition. But it won't happen overnight, but it will happen. You just got to stick to the script. Once you get your operating authority, and I activated mine 2018, which was 6 years later. I remember sitting in my living room on North and Greenmount and looking up load boards and getting excited about it. And the girl I was dealing with thought it was funny because I ain't owning no trucks. But I already knew I was going to get it. Yeah, y'all think it's funny too, but she ain't funny now.
No, I bet she ain't laughing now.
Well, she used to own trucks at the time.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a downplay on her. What I'm saying is you have to see it even if somebody else don't.
I got you.
That was one of my questions I had for one of the owner-operators. So you can file for your authority before you have a truck.
Yeah.
And you don't need an LLC, none of that perk.
No.
So remember I told you I went to one of them seminars?
Yeah.
They tried to sell that you needed to do this, that, and the third, because if I would have known that, I would have already been on the load board.
Yeah, because they probably want you to pay them to do it.
Yeah. So I can go fill out for my authority.
You can file for your authority right now.
That way you get a little bit of history. You know, they look
That.
at it how long it's been open.
This right here is more of a lecture style. Sometime in the future, I'm gonna do a workshop and we're gonna sit down and do this stuff and not talk about it. So you'll leave with everything filed. This is to talk about it. This is more of a lecture and a networking, but I'm gonna have a workshop where we're gonna do it. You bring your phones, your laptops, iPads, whatever you got, and then when you leave, you're gonna be set up. To answer your question, you don't need a truck. I didn't have a truck.
I don't have one yet.
You're gonna need a truck to activate insurance, which is what I was getting to. When you file your authority, they're gonna give you your MC and DOT number. It's not active. There's a website called Safer FMCSA where you can look up trucking companies by MC or DOT number. It's not active until you insure the company, which we're going to get into, but you need to file this even if you don't have equipment. Why? Because you want to get on the load board and you can't get on worthwhile load boards without an MC and a DOT number. There's some you can get on for free. They're not worthwhile. If you want to get on the DAT load board, like I show y'all every morning, Why? Because you want to look and get familiar with the flow of freight so you can have a realistic idea so you know people ain't bluffing you because you see it with your own eyes. Regardless if he said he made 8,000 this week or 12,000 this week, I'm looking at it now, and if I had a truck, this is the load I could book.
Right.
File your authority, get on the load board, whether you got a truck or not, so you can get familiar with. You don't want to go and at the last minute you fumbling around with the load board trying to figure out how this shit works, and you done spent all this money to get started, and the clock is ticking. You want to already know how, and you want to be fully convinced that it's worth it because you see the money every day, so it can start working on your mind so you can want it bad enough to be emotionally invested so you'll pull it to you. And if you ain't pulling it to you, you'll be so invested in it emotionally that you'll start walking towards it. And what they say, you take one step towards God, he take two towards you. That's how life works. You understand what I'm saying, young brother? Truck and trailer. Insurance companies are going to disagree with me on this. I don't give a goddamn. Find a truck and a trailer that you like, that you believe is within your budget. Call them, get the year, make, model, and VIN number. Then call an insurance company and get a quote for your authority that you already filed. Don't buy the truck first. Why? Because you're going to spend all this money getting the truck, then you're going to just have barely the money to get your insurance down payment, then you're going to be running around with a truck and authority and no trailer. And you're going to be fighting for loads. Find out how much the shit costs first. Count the cost. After you file and you know how much money you can make, look up the equipment, get an insurance quote so you can know, bet I need $5,000. Bet I've been with the same insurance company for 10 years and my credit is good, so I only need $2,700. You understand? You don't want to be at the last minute fumbling around trying to find out how much money you need. Do that first. And you don't want the time to start ticking, then it's going to force you into an owner-operator position that you didn't anticipate. Then you're going to have to change your plan, and when you have to reroute your plan, it weakens your faith. And that'll kill your drive, and that's going to change your emotional state, and it's going to slow the process of it coming to you or you walking towards it because you're not as emotionally invested and not as enthusiastic as you would be if you was in a high state of mind when everything is going right. Vehicle state inspections. When you purchase a truck, if it's not a brand new, off the assembly line truck, you're going to have to get a state inspection from your state. If they sell you a truck and they say this truck is DOT inspected, that don't mean nothing to your state. Most people don't buy trucks in their home state. Most people travel to buy trucks. All right, so you're going to bring your truck home, get it DOT inspected by your state. You can get temporary plates. They're hard plates, but they're temporaries for tractors. While you're going through this process, I can, with 100% absolute, tell you you don't need a temporary plate.
Now,
You should have one.
You should. And the reason I
You
said
don't need it.
Well, I think one of my guys was out in, I don't even think it was Texas, but I had a regular Merlin plate.
Right.
And he pulled over and he said something to him. He didn't give him a ticket for it, but they want you to have.
Yeah, but you was busting a load. Yeah, I know. Yeah, damn right I was busting a load and get this money. That's what I was talking. I'm not joking you. That's what I was talking about earlier when I was expressing what should be happening and what's really happening in the world. You knew damn well you weren't supposed to be doing that. But you ain't gonna let that money pass.
Yeah, I switched over.
Right, I would have did it too. I'd have did it, man. Look, man, I'm not even going to talk about me. What I'm talking about is what really happens in the field.
Right.
We talking about in the purchase process. You don't need to get a hard plate. You should by law. If you just driving from yard to shop, don't panic if you don't have it. Drive that motherfucker. The odds of you getting pulled over is slim to none. And if you do, look, I got an inspection. I'm moving this to the shop. I got a valid CDL. here's my
Now,
license.
it was a regular hard, you know, the regular plate that go on your cub, but not
Yeah.
the one that's for the track.
I understand,
You know
man.
what I'm talking about.
It's more stuff than that going on, right? We on camera. I'm telling you,
See,
bro.
and that's something that I ain't know until I had.
You gonna learn more than that. You only got 4 trucks. Wait till you get in the tractors.
Yeah, that's what I'm here.
Yeah, you ain't gonna learn some of this shit
That's why I'm
here.
cub.
So, yeah, that's the only way you gonna that's the only way you gonna get it. But you're not gonna. And some stuff has to be in a personal setting because it's too damaging to people. You understand what I'm saying? And when you get out there and you're trying to make it, sometimes you have to do whatever it takes. Because ain't nobody giving you shit. And if you don't do it, it ain't going to get done. It's worse shit than that having, trust me. Right? I started off with containers. Containers is the pirates of the truck. The trucking industry. And everything going on. So, where I was at?
Inspection.
Inspections. Tags. And this is that folder. All y'all got this, so it's going to be on the website. That was 9. Tags cause you portion plates. Alright, this is more complicated than getting tags for a truck. It's nothing to panic about. When you go down to motor vehicle, you're going to have to create an IRP account. That's an international registry place. This is an agreement. It's an international registry agreement that all the states have. So you ain't over here. I tell you, I just had a ticket in Oregon. They mailed it to me. I don't come home for weeks at a time. Come home, the ticket is there, but it's passed. Oregon communicated with Maryland. Maryland suspended the license until I paid the ticket or dealt with the issue because of their agreement. I had Pennsylvania do that as well. Now, the offense is not suspendable in Oregon, but because of this international registration agreement that all the states have, they communicate. So Maryland did that to force me to communicate with them to pay them, which I was going to do anyway. I was over the road. You're going to have to create an IRP account. You're going to have a state inspection before you get your hard tags. You're going to have to pay your heavy highway use tax. This is what they talk about, the $22.90. This is not your trucking tax. This is something different. It's about $550. You pay it once a year. That's for you driving on the road. That's different from IFTA, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But this is for the damage of you driving a vehicle of a certain weight on the roads. And if you're owner operator like y'all, you're going to need a lease agreement to prove that you're working with somebody. If you got your own authority, you're not going to need it, or you can create your own lease agreement, sign it to yourself, and give it to them. It's something real simple. It can be done in the email, and you screenshot it, yada, yada, yada. All this stuff is good to know. You can pay somebody to do all of this. It'll cost you less than $1,000. Where is it at? IFTA. Your IFTA is paid. I was taught by the IFTA department. Where did you earn and where did you burn? Every state that you drive through, you have to pay taxes on the fuel and the miles that you drove on their roads. If you drove local, or say that you have, as some people do, there is no IFTA tax because you paid your tax at the pump in the form of sales tax. The only cost you pay is the $50 filing fee if you drive local, like some people say they drive within a 150-mile radius. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you this is what happens.
Hey, Oregon, they ever ask you for your tag number or something?
Oregon, all right, all the states are part of IFTA, where you pay your fuel tax quarterly or yearly. IFTA and New Mexico are not. New Mexico, you can pay your IFTA, you have to buy if the permit to drive through New Mexico at the scale as soon as you come in the state. You'll think you're getting pulled over into the scale. They're not trying to check you. They want to see if you paid for your permit. And if you haven't, you can pay on the spot. Oregon is a little different. They want you to have it before you come. You can't pay it at the scale. And they used to want you to have a hard copy printed off. Now you can have it on your phone. So if they're in New Mexico, it's different. This stuff you're going to learn when you get out there. It's important. I'm not downplaying your question. It's in the grand scheme, it's insignificant because it's going to come up. It's important that you ask that question, that you know it, so you don't get stopped. Because just like I was talking to him, say you was doing something else out of order, and you didn't even know. And now you get pulled over by the fucking fuel permit, and now they running your tag. Now they finding this. Now they checking insurance. Then next thing you know, you all fucked up because you been a renegade trucker, which most of us are. Sometimes.
You said you gotta buy that permit before you get into Oregon, right?
Yes.
So where do you get that permit?
It's a number that you can call that permit line. I got the number if you want it, or you'll see it. Or if you do get pulled over and it's too late, the officer will give it to you.
Okay.
And even if they say it's a warning or whatever.
So it's a permit that you buy.
Yeah.
Like, say you're going into there one time.
Say I'm in California, and California is shaped like this. And you got Oregon, then you got Seattle. Say I'm leaving LA and I'm going up to Seattle. So I'm coming through Oregon, then I'm coming back past it. I would get a 3-day pass.
3-day pass, okay.
Right. So it's for multiple days. And then also, because you're not paying the tax at the pump, you'll need that permit number in order to fuel up because that fuel is cheaper. But what some people do is either talk to the driver next to them or look at the numbers on the side of their truck. And if you type in the tag number, it'll allow you to get the same fuel price as another company. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you this is what happens. Where we at? IFTA. IFTA is going to send you color-coded stickers that you put on the side of your truck. You see people collect them like biking jackets or like arm stickers. Yeah, that's well, that's what that is.
It's just to kind of show them that you've been.
That's a burden of proof. That's your war wound.
Right.
I've been in it for this many years. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is.
2011.
Right, and so they've been out here for a minute. You get one every year. It's color coded, but you gotta stay on top of this. You don't have to pay it every quarter. You can pay it every quarter, but you must pay it every year because if they don't, they're gonna freeze your IFTA account. So you have to pay it, and if you run it locally in Maryland and bought all of your fuel here and drove all of your miles here, there is no IFTA cost because you paid it at the pump in the form of sales tax. You pay a filing fee of $50 per quarter so you can keep your IFTA up to date and active. When I was talking about two things that's going to break you down, and there's one that's going to break your spirit, paperwork. We're going to get into some of these filings when we get down there. Paperwork will break you down. Maintenance will break you down, and it'll break your spirit. If you ain't you, we was talking about over there. Factoring companies. Most brokers pay on a net 30, net 28, it depends. Net 30 is you do the load today, we pay you a month later. It's like you're extending the credit to the broker. Factoring companies take that out, the bite out of it. Most people taking all they got to get started. You don't got 30 days to wait. Factoring company is going to pay you either the next day or like the one I use, can pay you in an hour. Nah, I use TAF, TAF. Also, they offer fuel cards. Excuse me. Fuel cards are not necessary, but it's important to have a fuel card. Why? Because after you done sat there, excuse me, I hate when people eat and talk, and that's got a little coconut in it. Fuel cards is gonna take the bite out of your startup. When you first start and you done sat there and you tired of this company and you tired of this guy You been running for him. He want to pay you when he want to pay you. Talking about the broker ain't pay you. Can't pay you the Tuesday. Ain't fixing the truck. Wants you to wait at the shop with the truck. All of this, you ready to go. You took your scratch, got you a truck, bang. Yeah, but the thing about that is now you all in. Factoring company is gonna make sure you get paid fast, but they got fuel cards as well that will get you rolling. That'll float you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. You know what I'm saying, in the beginning, which is gonna ease the pain of starting. Fuel cards. Factoring companies offer fuel cards, but there's also every major truck stop that you see has a fuel card. And then there's a whole list of fuel card providers. I suggest you sign up with as many as possible. Why? Because if the factoring company is willing to give you $2,000, $3,000, then why 10 other people won't? And you got 30 grand, or at least 3 of them, and you got 10 grand that'll float you through the month, that'll get you rolling, to get you some factoring money coming in, so you can start putting money back from your startup costs, so you can actually see money and not be sending all of it out. Don't go crazy with fuel cards though, because you can get in a tendency of running them up and then thinking that the money that's coming in your account is yours. You still got to pay that money back. And also, you was talking about credit earlier, that helps with not only your personal credit, but your business credit. If anybody know, this ain't about business credit, but if you can get I got $10,000 Navy Federal, right? That's not a lot of money. Business credit will give you 40, 50,000, 20,000 on cars, and then you got 6, 7 cars. So when you see these guys selling these programs, they not lying. They just not telling you everything. It's not as easy as they present it, but it is true. If you've done the groundwork to get your personal credit together, then people will trust you to give you business credit based on your personal, using you as a personal guarantor until you build up business credit, using yourself as a personal guarantor. Then people will start opening the doors to give you credit based off of your business. But that's not going to happen if you abuse this.
Hey, question, your fuel cards, do they consider that a trade line?
Yeah, you need to talk to each one of them and make sure that they report to Dun & Bradstreet, and if they don't, with Dun & Bradstreet, you can go on there, but you got other business credit bureaus. I'm not a credit expert. I took some credit courses, read some books, and paid for stuff like this that people be selling y'all. I done went through them. I got some information, but I'm not an expert on it. Yeah, and there's programs now where even if they don't do it, you can add stuff. Like I'm saying now, where you can add your phone bill and your rent and all this stuff to your credit. So you had to talk to each individual one, and if they don't, you can see about trying to add them. Charge accounts. By the way, y'all have this if I sent it to you. If you was on the 85, if you're not, I'm gonna resend it at the beginning of the month. So I don't keep sending it to people who already have it. Charge accounts. Factoring companies is gonna make sure you get paid quickly and give you a starter fuel card based off of your factoring, not your credit. You're gonna get that no matter what, because they gonna receive your money before you get it. So they not worried about your credit. Then you level up, get some fuel cards based off of your personal or business or combined, depending on what your personal situation is and how healthy your report is. Charge accounts. Every single trucking franchise, Kenilworth, Peterbilt, Freightliner, Volvo, International, all these guys got shops, y'all see them, right? Well, what they don't advertise as much is you can get a charge account with them. So when you have maintenance, they can charge it, as opposed to you coming out with $3,000, $4,000 or whatever the case is to get your truck fixed. Also, these parts stores, Fleet Pride and all of this stuff, Harbor Freight, you can get credit accounts with them so you can get tools and parts and oil and all of this stuff that it's not cash out of pocket. All of this stuff we on now is extra credit. Really, all you need is a CDL, the authority, EIN number, which people normally already know to get together, your operating authority, your truck insurance, and then you're gone. This stuff will aid you in the way, but it ain't necessary. You need a truck, a trailer, and insurance. Because if you don't have insurance, your DOT number and MC number, which is your authority, I'm going to keep repeating myself because you're lying by repetition, means nothing. You can file your authority right now. If it's not insured, it means nothing. You can't use it. All you need is a truck, a trailer, and authority with active insurance. Then you roll it. All this other stuff is extra credit. But these charge accounts, it'll save you money when you're in a jam. Most fuel cards have is dual charge, fuel and maintenance. Some of them are separately charged. Some may charge you fuel every week. Some of them may charge you maintenance once a month. But you can use these fuel cards for fuel and maintenance. All right. Well, you got my number and all, right?
Yeah.
Call me Monday, and then we try to see what we can do.
Thank you, bro.
You welcome. Thank you. You welcome. And having a charge account for the maintenance will save you a lot of money at times. I'm telling y'all, shit happens at the most inconvenient times. You don't know. You don't know when it's right about to happen.
The charge accounts, like you can get Lowe's, Home Depot. I done fixed my house up.
Yeah.
Home Depot. They gave me $10,000.
You can get tools.
My basement flooded. I had what is it? Vinyl. I got all brand new vinyl.
Not only
Sheetrock, all that.
Sam's Club, Home Depot, Walmart. They got business accounts and personal.
Yeah.
What you talking about is real deal. You can really, I'm telling y'all, my first time, I learned by trial and error. I'm a head first person. I jump into stuff, I move real fast, I fuck up and regroup. My first fleet, I was like 200 grand in debt. I filed bankruptcy. I had like 18 high power credit cards. But the legal system washed away my sins.
The good thing about that is it doesn't go to your personal credit. So that's the good thing. If it's under the
Well, some of them, it depends. It depends on how you got it.
let's say if you ain't use your personal guarantee to get it as well.
Right, but see, like what you were saying earlier, how important credit is. If you already got your credit together, then you don't need that. But if you're starting off and you got a little shaky, then you may need to use yourself as a personal guarantor. But you start there, and as you prove yourself, then you upgrade. And more people will be able to, you'll be more trustworthy to lenders. And some of them, let me tell y'all something, a lot of people scared to get trucks because they worried about their credit. I've been through 19, 20 trucks, ain't none of them on my credit. Good or bad. It's a different, now trucking companies can see that stuff when they look you up. And depending on how you did your financing, I got a buddy who went through Navy Federal. That's on his credit report. I went through truck finance companies. It's not one on my credit report. Not one. Good or bad.
So you just finance it through your business?
No, it's not even that. It's just the whole trucking world, for whatever reason, they just don't. It depends on how you did your financing. I use trucking finance institutions to finance. And one of the companies I went through, I got like 7 trucks from them, but they got into some shifty stuff, and the owners got locked up. I don't know if y'all remember Celadon.
Celadon?
Yeah.
Blue and white?
Yeah. Well, they had Celadon, blue and white, and then they had Quality, blue and white. It looked like a Celadon company, but instead of a C, it was a Q. Yeah, but the people over at Celadon was dilly-dallying with the stocks and all that shit, and they got locked up. And that go back to what I was saying. Sometimes you do what you gotta do to try to make it. I'm not here to judge them. This is what happened. They got arrested or whatever. These are old white guys. You know what I'm saying? I've been on it from first page news.
Was that recent?
Within the last 5 years.
So
So the trucker finance companies basically just like Main Federal, CQ, but it's just
No, those are credit unions.
right.
You got credit unions, you got banks, and you got people who specifically like, all right,
Like mountain.
every night I was running around, going to Harley Davidson. I'm going to drop my bike off. It's the middle of the night. Stuck at the light. Cold as hell. I'm looking around, just trying to fiddle or fucking stay awoke, because I've been up down there, there and had. And I looked to the right, and it's right at the gas station, they build sheds. Say no credit check. You know, like these fence companies, they specialize in building fences and selling them. They'll finance you. Them is finance groups strictly in trucking. If you look on the website under the helpful links section, and you go down, it'll say truck finance, and it'll give you a whole list of them. Or if you call me, I can send you something. I got a whole shitload of them on my phone.
Look, I got a question. Would you, your buddy went through Navy Federal, would he do that again or not? Before I mess with him?
Well,
Should I?
like I say with anything, you gotta go see. And I hate that. What's up, Wayne? What's up? Anybody need a house moved or anything? Wayne got a trucking company. Good buddy of mine. Yeah, Wayne's up for that. Yeah, he moved out, celebrities, all that stuff. So we met a while back, and he got a fleet of trucks and the trucking and all that stuff. So that's what y'all gonna be doing soon. Thanks for coming. What was the question you just asked me?
Navy Federal or?
Oh yeah, so like I was saying,
Financing it through a credit
you
union
can't.
or?
I can't escape my knowledge. So I gotta tell you this. All right, if you read in the Bible, it talk about the hardening of the hearts, right? And then it talk about a reprobate mind. So that's when you constantly don't listen to God, and then He'll harden your heart. You won't hear from Him. As a human being, we were built with an internal guidance system. It's called intuition. If you don't listen to it, it'll die. You gotta listen to your own intuition, so you can't go off of him. What I would say is, he got a very good interest rate. The payments was low, and I don't even think he had a down payment.
No, I feel what you're saying. I was just asking because I look at people like Blueprints. So.
No. I'm not saying you're saying nothing wrong. What I'm saying is, don't take what I'm saying because of his experience.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to your gut and follow your own heart. It's good, it has benefits because you could possibly have no down payment and a low interest rate and a low monthly payment. However, that's definitely gonna be in your credit report, and they're not as forgiving as truck finance companies.
So that's what I was going to get to.
A truck finance company, if your truck been in the shop for 2 weeks, you can call them and let them know. Some of them will put your payments on hold. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or worst case scenario, if you lose the truck, I done lost many of trucks. That's what I'm saying. I've been through 19, 20 trucks. That's what qualifies me to sit up here and teach y'all, because I done lost enough to butt my head enough because I didn't have nobody to ask. That's why I'm saving you out of the journey. But the worst case scenario, you lose the truck, they're gonna take it back, fix it, and sell it.
Yeah.
They not focused on you didn't pay us. They are in cahoots with truck sales companies, truck finance companies, and a lot of them have shops, and they're either birthed from the truck sales company or vice versa. A bank or a credit union is in the business of lending money and receiving interest. You ever notice how quick they take your money?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right, but let it be a mistake and need your money back.
Oh yeah, it's 30 days. Let us
Right.
figure it out.
They're making interest every day. It's millions of people that got money on hold. You can send a transaction like that, but to get it back, you telling me it take 3 business days to send a fucking wire? It's electronic. Y'all not hauling money. They're getting interest off of your money. That's the name of the game. It's a game, and unfortunately, we not playing. So we don't get the benefit off of it.
Like, we've seen it at 20.
Huh?
They be like, we'll send you your 20 or 35. Just let me make my 400 real quick.
Yeah, so that's how it goes. Where you was at on the charge account? And to get back to where it's all type of charge accounts. The point is, you want to start establishing some type of credit with your business because it's going to ease the pain of having to come out of your pocket with money in the beginning. And the more accounts that you have, it'll be able to flow to you. Because like I was saying earlier, when shit happens, it comes at the most inconvenient time. I'm telling you. It don't happen when you want it to happen. It happened once you just. I remember one time I paid out $16,000 in credit card. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm down to zero. My score about to bump up. Next thing you know, all that type of shit. So that's how life is, but it's testing you to see how strong you is. Because that's what develops character. And for whatever reason, that's how he made it. I'm using the video game analogy. I don't play them, but I understand how they work. So every level you move up, it gets harder. And you have to beat whoever's at the end. You got to pass that challenge in order to get to the next level. So that's how life is. So you got your factoring, your fuel cards, and your charge accounts. Work 21 days. After you activate your authority, you filed it, but it wasn't active until you added your insurance. Your insurance is your boss. That's what allows you to even operate. No insurance, no work. That's the end of the game. They tell you who you can hire, if you can hire them, or if it's going to cost you more to hire them. But once you activated your authority and got your insurance, now you active and you're booking loads to your factoring company off of the load board, you're going to have to work 21 days. Your MC takes 21 business days. Per my conversation with FMCSA in person, that was initiated by the mob. When deregulation came and people started getting into trucking, an everyday person could get into trucking, that was set there as a hindrance in order to stop people from getting a head start. If you call FMCSA and ask them, they're going to tell you that's given a probationary period in order for anybody to inject or reject why. Like, you know, when you get married, say, anybody object to this marriage? Speak now. That's giving people enough time to say, hey, this is a bad guy, this is a bad company, you shouldn't deal with, or you shouldn't grant them operating authority. I've never heard of it happening. I'm quite sure it does. But that's what they'll tell you now. Also, the whole mob thing, I believe it, because that's actually the same exact person who filled out that authority application for y'all, who retired from the FMCSA, who worked there damn near longer than I've been living. So I take her word. After you work your 21 days, this seems like it's a problem, but it's actually a blessing in disguise. Why? Because when you booking loads, when you first start out, every broker you deal with, you're going to have to fill out a carrier pack. All right? And when I started, I was using a mobile printer. It was about this big. Yeah, but I had to get to that.
We had to get to that, right?
And I'm not tech savvy. So I had to find places to print, and they charging me $2, $3 at truck stops to print paper. And I had to get to them, and I had to get to them in time before they said fuck it and gave the load to somebody else. Before I got the printer. Then when I got the printer, I was a little quicker, zip, fill it out, send it back. But it's going to be a process. That's why I tell y'all, get on the load board immediately, so you can be familiar with looking up the loads and not have to still deal with the paperwork of doing the carrier packet. Once you do a load with a broker, you're not going to have to send them a carrier packet again. If anything, if your insurance changed, they'll want an insurance update, or at the end of the year, if they update in their files, they may want you to send them new insurance. And RMIS is an auto system. So once you get in there, a lot of brokers use them, not all of them, but once you get in there, you won't have to, and thanks to your guy came back. I meant to call you last night, but I wanted to wait until he was finished fixing it. He's still fixing it now.
Okay.
He went to get some wires. But I'm telling y'all, inconvenient times. I'm obligated to y'all, but I really need to be fucking with this mechanic right now. But it's all gonna work out. The carrier packet, you only gonna do that your first load with them, and that could be extenuating There's stuff you can apps you can get. Cam scanner.
DocuSign.
Right. Adobe printer, stuff like that. If you're a tech person, I'm not. Some phones you can write on them. I like to blow stuff up and scribble through that. That's the best let me speak correct. That's the best I've applied my time to learn how to do. I can do the rest of this stuff, but I haven't put any time and effort in it because I'm making it out without doing it. But that stuff will make it easier for y'all if you into the computer. After you done did your 21 days, where you were learning how to book loads and actually booking them on training wheels, you can leave the state. Alright, I was down to the wire. I thought I was gonna get the truck and run. Then I'm stuck. Soon as that 21 days hit, and holidays are excluded, I got $6,000 load, which was big back then. You know, a lot of people have been spoiled through this last year, which is unordinary. And that's why people crying now because it went back to normal. But I took that $6,000 load, right? The broker gave me a 40% fuel advance, so that put money in my pocket, and it allowed me to complete the load. Because I was already sitting 21 business days, it's just 5 days in a week, that's 4 weeks, that's a month. So I'm starting off from behind. But mind you, I told you after my first 3 months, I saved $24,000, and then started adding trucks. So don't panic when that happens. Be prepared, because nobody told, they skipped that part. They skipped that part, nobody told me that. Once you get past that, and you know how to book loads, save $10,000. Or build your credit up the way you got $10,000 access to some sort of credit line, or charge account, or fuel, or cards collectively. Because I'm telling you, it's not a if, it's a when. Maintenance is going to happen. Matter of fact, sometimes I think you might be more of a mechanic than the driver sometimes. Because it's going to constantly keep hitting you. That's the game. You just got to handle it and keep it moving. You're not going to escape it. You buy, trust me, I done had old trucks, new trucks, leased trucks, fleet, it don't matter. It's going to happen. You're going to bust tires, brakes going to go up, electrical shit with lights, you know, coolant leaks, all different type of shit. And then in the wintertime, you have more maintenance. And the winter times are the slower times of the year. So you're making less money, then you got more maintenance. So be prepared for that. It don't have to be money in your pocket. It can be cards. But you want to do this as soon as you get a chance. All right? And just to put that $10,000 in perspective, let's talk money for a minute. Ham. They still say that? You're getting ham? That's old Baltimore term. You make $8,000 to $12,000 a week. You're gonna keep somewhere between 4 to 7. If you running, that's over the road, running hard. If you running regional and you making $5,000 to $7,000 a week, somewhere in between 25 and 4, depending on what you got going on. Like I was saying, there's a lot of stuff going on in trucking. I'm not talking about, but depends. But you can. Somewhere between that 25 and 4, where you're gonna be falling in your pocket. If you pay yourself $1,500, save $1,000. You do that for 10 weeks, you got your maintenance fund. That's to put it in perspective. Or if you want to go hard, you can save $2,500 a week and you'll get it in a month. It depends on how ambitious you are. Run a full year. Just like I was talking about, don't get a truck and just want to go out and get drivers. Run your truck a full year so you can understand the seasons, the peaks and the valleys. Because what's going to happen, check the scenario, it's summertime, it's jamming, just like it is on the block. Sometimes it's jamming. Everybody outside. So trucking is booming. And you're like, man, I'm gonna go get me a truck. You go buy a truck, because you're like, I'm about to make more money. But it's, mind you, it's summertime. By the time you got the truck and got it together, it's fall. By the time you find a driver and all that shit, you going in the winter. So they got a taste of the fall money. Now it's winter, now everybody complaining about their checks. Now you got the high turnover because they best friend told them about the best check that they ever got in their life, not telling them that's not every week. And right? This is a trick about drivers. Drivers have headsets. All they do is drive and talk all day. That's why I don't really like it. That's a character trait of truck drivers. They talk. So they talking about, Dad, man, I just made $1,800 this week, man. You killing them. Now he want to quit and go over there. Then he get over there and make $700. Now he complaining. Now he want to come back. I got no hire policy. I give people my best. Matter of fact, I don't hire at all. I don't even deal with drivers. I don't want the headache. But when I was, and if I decide to again, which I probably won't, I don't rehire people. I give people my best up front. If you don't feel as though that's good enough for you, I leave you out there to the wolves. And they all call back, all of them. They want advice and all that. Yeah, I couldn't see that. That's how, and I shouldn't be like that. That's how my personal life is as well. But
It's a survival job.
But run for 4 years so you can see everything that come in, and really get a chance of learning the business and the paperwork. Because once you all right, this what happen. You go get a truck and then you drug them 3-4 drivers. You can do that easily in 1 year. How long it took you to build a fleet of box trucks? You got to do box trucks too. Yeah, not even a year. Yeah, to acquire the equipment. Now you juggling these drivers. You juggling dispatch. You juggling payroll. You juggling maintenance. Yeah, all along, shit. You forgot about the paperwork and all the filings and shit piling up. And they keep sending you emails, and all these people was calling you, talking about they such and such FMCSA, trying to gain your business, but they portraying like they DOT, but they not, and they sound professional. That's how people get tricked out their money. If it's not FMCSA,
Paid for the manual two times.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on, what? I had to go back in my file. Like,
And they sounded like DOT.
yeah, it came straight to my email.
And the email looked like it too.
And they had your number too, so they will call.
They buy the list from them.
Yeah.
So just watch out for that, because as soon as you file this,
Everybody they
Oh
know
my
call.
God.
Oh, you said they want to FMCS website, fine.
they buy the list. They got all your information.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, they still call me.
And I sign up for that later on.
They gonna call you right away.
Nah, that's funny. I used to do that.
So run a 4 years so you can know exactly what you're talking about. And then again, everybody that was on the 85, y'all got this whole thing. It ain't nothing but like 20 pages. It's easy to print out. Your filings and paperwork. Maintenance will break you and break your spirit. Paperwork will break you. Alright. Both of them will break you. Maintenance will break your spirit. Maintenance will have you like, man, fuck this shit. Bone man.
20K overall, 26K overall.
Yeah, that's what maintenance will do. That's why you gotta be prepared. That's why you gotta go through this before you get to here and upgrade your life, so you can be prepared for maintenance. But paperwork, you got your biannual update every 2 years, what he was talking about. That's nothing special. All that is your contact information. The FMCSA has to know that if you do something somewhere, or owe somebody somewhere, or did something in a state somewhere, we know how to contact you if they don't. All that is your contact information. It's nothing. You go in there, update. That has to be done every 2 years. Then you got your BOC3, which is your process agent, which sounds like it's some real complicated shit. It's not. You can be your own process agent. When you file for insurance, they have filings to update you on the FMCSA website. Most insurance companies will it's called your BOC3, process agent. Most insurance companies do this automatically. If you don't have a good insurance agent, they may not. You may get an email, you call and set it up. You set yourself up. That's the process of agent is who is allowed to receive and answer paperwork on behalf of your company. So if the FMCSA want to contact you, and you designate yourself as an agent, only you can answer them. But if somebody else filed it, like I was saying, you don't need to know this. You can pay somebody to do all this stuff for a few $100, $600-700. Then they have the authority to contact them on behalf of you. Then you got your URC, Unified Carrier Registration. You got your IRP, which is for your portion plates. You got your IFTA, which is International fuel tax agreement. Then you got your state business taxes. If you want to stay in good standing with your business, once a year you got to file, and for your authority, I believe it's $80 you got to pay every year. Every state is different, so I didn't go deep into the specifics. And also, I don't do this stuff. I'm telling y'all so y'all can be aware of it, but most of this stuff I don't know. I pay people to do it. I'm just trying to cut y'all journey. And your taxes, your business taxes, you got to pay that yearly. You can pay it quarterly if you're a good steward. And if I'm not mistaken, you got up to 2 years. Who's the accountant? Man, Eureka?
I'm sorry.
How long can you go without paying taxes before it's a problem? 2 years?
Is it like 2, 3 years? Something like
Yeah,
that?
I always get that mixed up. I believe I got 3 years from somewhere, but I stick with 2 because that's a safer answer. But I believe you can go 3 years without paying the taxes until you start getting in the penalty status and starting to have problems with the IRS. But the paperwork, that'll knock you out the game if you ain't on top of that. Just pay somebody a few dollars to do it. Make sure it's a real credible company and not somebody that's got your number off the list, because they'll get you. They'll charge you $200, $150 for something that you could have did for free. That only took 5 minutes, if that. Or that you could have called FMCSA and had them update on the phone. DOT inspections. Mechanics are going to see stuff that you're not going to see. That's just point blank period. Skipping on maintenance, it seemed like the right thing to do at the time. Oh, it's just a light, just a tire. I do it. Or I may stop somewhere and wait too long. I'm like, man, shit, I can drop this load off, fix the shit then. If you so happen to get pulled over within that time, even if it's just a fine or warning, that shit affects you heavily. Why? Your insurance. Look, this is something that's extremely unfair, but it's how it goes. You working off 100% safety score. If you get pulled over one time, 1 of 100, that means 100% of the time. If you fail one inspection, that means you failed all of them because you've only had one. So that puts you at 100% failure rate. So even if you get another inspection and pass it, that puts you at a 50%. What is this sticky down here now? That wasn't there before. You under the national average. So people won't want to insure you. Some brokers won't want to work with you. If your safety scores are too high, some of them, I've got denied before. Hey man, your safety scores are above ours, blah, 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 blah. We can't work with you. All right, cool, call the next broker. But these DOT inspections, it'll cost you about $109 to get the truck and trailer inspected. It's good to have that done at least once a season, every 90 days. You want to get a PM if you got an older truck, every 10, 12,000 miles. But you want to stop and get these DOT inspections while they're doing your PM because it's going to save you later. I'm telling you. When I had a fresh authority, I paid $2,700 down payment. I was paying $1,700 a month. My last insurance that just canceled, my end date, I think my end date is Saturday, matter of fact. I gotta find some new insurance. I'm paying
I got insurance with you too.
Alright, cool. I'm paying $500 a month.
For what, just you?
Yeah.
You track down there, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got insurance.
Yeah, but you know why I'm paying that? Because of this.
Because of that? Yeah.
Because of that stuff we ain't talking about. Because all that, where'd Shorty go? Because all that stuff that happened when you're on the road, when you want to do things your way. You can do whatever you want to do, long as you prepared to deal with the consequences. But those minor offenses add up, and it's going to affect you here and raise this, or put you in a status where nobody will insure you, where you got to backtrack to go here. Which is not the end of the world, but it happens. I'm telling you, I've been in situations where nobody would touch me.
Can I ask you a question about insurance?
Yes.
Is new authority expensive? Because I just called it that trying to get a quote on some insurance, and they quoted me like $4,800 down and $1,900 a month.
Right. So normally your insurance is going to be anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 down. for the down payment to get started. That's not abnormal. And when I was talking earlier about I had my authority in 2012, I didn't activate it in 2018. The reason why is because I thought insurance was high. They quoted me like $3,100 back then. I had bobtail insurance as an owner operator, which is only like $150 a month, depending on who you are. Not as a person, but your background record. Now, I thought that $3,100 was extremely high because I had nobody to ask, like y'all got. So I put it off thinking, I'm moving too fast, I'm a new driver, let me get some more years under my belt. It was still around the same cost 6 years later. Your first year is going to be your highest. After you successfully complete 1 full year of being insured, I got a buddy, shit like $1,200. I know people $800. Truckers, well, you got box trucks as well. That's a different. You got a different.
It came down from $950 last year.
Right. But the tractor come down 30%. You know, sometimes
I just got a random quote, and I think per truck, just for the truck and trailer insurance, unlimited miles, I think it was like $16.7. That was without the driver. Without the drivers added.
Right.
The truck, so.
And so
That is rough, man.
every time you get pulled over on the road, so when we was talking about the local stuff and about the cost and all that, whether you should rent and all that stuff, one of the things, the benefits is your insurance will be cheaper over time because you'll get pulled over less. I'm on the road. Once you pass Kansas City, everything white. That whole side. I done got pulled in weigh stations with foam. The load is 5,000 pounds. I got a fresh ass Pete, 2 years old. Well, just follow me. They pulled me in, truck clean as a whistle. Load is light. Then they put another guy in, he got a car hauler with 2 brand new cars in there, brand new dually. We the only 2 drivers in there. Then Billy come through, look like he done put this bitch together with toothpaste.
Yeah, the green light.
You see what I'm saying?
You got to deal with that stuff.
Yep.
Right. I'm in litigation right now with Oregon. And I told him, I said, I feel like y'all profiling me.
Yeah.
I got pulled over in Oregon in a rental truck, so you know it was fresh.
Oh, wow.
Bobtailing. I was going to go buy some tops. I left my trailer to get loaded. So I left to go buy some fresh tops because I found some on Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, let me go get these real quick while they load this shit. Because I got a deal on it. So normally I might have blew past them if I wasn't as nice a guy as I am.
So you went in bobtailing.
Yeah, because I'm like, shit, they about to go ahead and push me forward.
I ain't never knew you get pulled over bobtailing.
What's the point of pulling you over if there's no weight? In a weigh station. They pulled me in, did a full rundown.
With the bobtail truck.
Yes.
Wow, that's serious.
The fucking airline had an abrasion on it.
Yeah, it's just, I had that nip, and I was up here.
You couldn't even see the metal.
Damn.
It was pinched a little bit, that's it.
Because it rubs together, but it wasn't leaking and it wasn't, no metal was shown. It was still rubber.
He allowed me to fix it while I was up. I called somebody.
Yeah, but then they went further than that. They went and hooked the computers up and went back and compared miles and days and all this stuff. And I did all that stuff I try to avoid y'all from started coming up. So if you're an adult, you gotta you take your blows. But they had no business. They had right to. They had no business in even fucking with you. And all them other trucks was there. And the last time, still in Oregon. Oregon is damn near 100% white. I got pulled up. I was on my way to Alaska. I'm empty. I was going there for fun. But Seattle was the last city. So I'm not I got a trailer, but I'm empty. But I'm not working. So I want to go to the airport and hurry up and get checked in. So I'm going blow past the scale, I'm not working. I don't have a car with me in my back pocket. They left the scale, came 20 miles up the road, brought me back around,
Oh, man.
put me out of service. I missed the flight. But that's all right, because I rubbed it in their face. I went out to Alaska, had the time of my life. I did all type of shit I would have never even dreamed I could do coming from Bel Air Road. You know what I'm saying? So,
So you say
fuck them.
Oh, so you saying they did what they did, but you still turned around and find a way to enjoy yourself.
I'm gonna enjoy myself anyway. What I'm talking about is how it's all, whenever you about to, don't ever expect some type of blessing or increase or level, anything. It could be a girlfriend, it could be a new job, new house, car. Right before you about to get whatever you think you about to get, the tests always, the enemy always gonna come because here's the thing, he can't stop you. What's yours is yours. Nobody can stop you from getting it.
But they can try to hinder.
They can agitate you from not wanting it. But God always gonna give you what you're supposed to get. He's just trying to, all right, man, you got it. Fuck it. Let me make you miserable before you get it. You might break and quit. That's just life, all aspects. It's not just trucking. That's just how it goes. Whatever you trying to do right before you there, that's when everything. And then when you break through, then you get your blissful moment for a second. Then problems come. But that's what life is. Life ain't nothing but a series of exactly. So stay on top of your DOT inspection because mechanics is gonna see stuff you ain't gonna see. Audits. Your first year, you're gonna be audited, no matter what, whether you got a truck or not. I told y'all, I got my authority in 2012. I didn't activate it in 2018. I had no truck, but I was still sent to audit. I went just to see what it was like, because I knew these days was coming. I'm operating off of faith. So your first year, they're gonna send you one no matter what. Don't panic. After that, you're probably not gonna get caught unless you trigger one. If you're out there doing stuff you ain't supposed to be doing, you being a renegade, as most truckers are, you can trigger an audit if your safety scores get you high. And they'll call and say, hey, look, this guy keep getting pulled over, he's running scales, this motherfucker fucking wrong law, he ain't even got no law. You got drivers, you got suspended licenses, driving, smoking blunts, got a miniature, bottle. So then they keep saying this stuff, then they gonna say, all right, let's pull his ass in and see what the fuck is he doing. Then they gonna check all your paperwork and see what you doing. And my first audit when I had trucks, I had no trucks, but my first audit with trucks, I got $6,000. So this is what I'm talking about. You paying the price. You can't expect to do whatever you want to do, and it's not. It's consequences to all your ass. So just be prepared. But you will get audited, and after your first year, it's gonna be a while before you get re-audited, unless you trigger one, or if you're in the hazmat field with your own authority, you'll get more audits because they want to make sure you ain't about to kill them. Then once you done did all that, enjoy yourself. You out here, one of the benefits of trucking is you get to travel for free. So I set a goal that I wanted to see all the major cities. I did it. I've been to every single state in the United States, on land, Hawaii and Alaska. Just had to fly to, and recently knocked out Puerto Rico, and now I'm working on the world, going to different countries. But I completed my goal, and I owe 100% of that to trucking because all of those places I either drove to and stopped, or I drove to the border that was closest and then flew from there. So enjoy yourself while you're out here after you get set up. Don't run out and do it first because that's going to put you in a jam and you're going to be fucked up. And don't be out here drinking and shit and then try to drive. If you've been drinking, it's not even worth driving. Sleep it off because you got one shot with a DUI. You can slip through the cracks that first time, or they can suspend you for a year and allow you to get it back. After that first one, you're done. I don't care if you're in a car, truck, or whatever. You're not never getting CDL ever again. you banished from the CDL world. Then you're gonna be running around scrambling, trying to find drivers. And I know several people. I'm not talking about nobody specifically, because I don't want people gonna see this all over the country. I don't want nobody to think I'm talking about them specifically. I know several people like this who had fleets of trucks that got DUIs, and now they're forced to have drivers. And what we talked about drivers earlier, this what you gross, this what they gross, this what they cost you in maintenance. This is the little piece you get to keep. And because of a drink, it puts you in a real compromising situation. So do what you want to do, but just be careful. And after all that, the golden rule, teach. I'm taking my time out to teach y'all. This cost me a lot of money to do this. I spent damn near $7,000 just on this event. And all of my stuff ain't even here. That's why all that shit over there ain't hooked up. Because the rest of it didn't come. Not to mention the money that I'm missing by not working right now. And the tens of thousands of dollars that I spend on advertising to gain y'all attention, to lure y'all here so I can teach y'all, so I can meet y'all in person, so y'all can have a personal connection that you can call with issues, and if I've been through it, then I can help you. If I can't, then I can probably refer you to somebody else or tell you what I would do. But if I don't know something, I'm not going to tell you that I know it. But teach people, don't get your bread up and then start thinking you Joffrey Joe. Pride comes before destruction. You get up there, God will show you just how much the man of woman you is. You get to run around like this. Yep, pull the rug right from under. Now go back in front of them same people who were showing off in front of them and show them how big it is now. You ain't got there by nothing but me. Keep thinking it's you. So,
Got a question, bro. You never thought about let people run underneath your authority?
no, people will fuck your shit up.
It's all gonna fall.
They'll fuck your shit up and then leave.
So you're not even if you know.
No.
You try? Now the reason why I asked is because I got a couple of people that went out to the airport.
Yeah.
They know how I work, so they like, yo, go grab me, you can work up underneath my authority. But I feel as though like, what's the catch? That's like when I was doing gasoline.
No, it's not no catch. What it is one, they even looking out for you because they're your homeboy and they trying to see you get on your feet quicker, and they probably even make 10 to 30% off,
Right.
And that's what it
off
was.
of the load. Yeah, but that's not a big deal. If you go in the owner operator, they 70-30, 75-25. You got a homeboy that's going to take the risk of having you on that authority and only take 10%. That's a good deal, and you get to learn from them personally by observation or by talking while you're working with them. So that's not a bad deal, and it's not some scheme to try to lure you in. They're actually trying to look out for you. And if you do it, make sure you treat it like it's your company, because the people would do. This is a renegade sport.
Yeah, I know.
If you think about old school truckers, you thinking bikers, Billy Badasses. The girls too nowadays. I don't care how goddamn funny they is on these clips they making nowadays. They asses is out here, we human beings. We like to eat and have sex. So if you think somebody is out there on the road, not nothing, you can forget that shit. Their asses is wildin' too. So that's what it is.
So if I want to get the operating authority, like filing it right now.
You can file it right now.
Do
You
I
can
got
file
to
it before the next
form
class.
the LLC?
You want to. You don't have to.
Right.
You want to. Because you don't want to file for your authority. Pick this slick ass name,
Yeah.
Super Truck 21.
If somebody else got to do
And then you go try to do a legal structure and the name gone. Do this so you know the name is solid. Because if this is solid, odds are ain't nobody got it over here. And you don't want mismatched information, because then when you start doing applications for this shit over here, it's going to be denying, and you're going to be like, wow, my credit score is good. You're throwing 40, 50 a month. Then, well, your addresses don't match. You got LLC over here and INC over here.
Good.
You got S. Dot trucking overhead, and then you got S space trucking overhead. So they want all your shit, and a lot of these applications computer generated, so it's not a human being, unless you're going to a credit union. Some of them still using humans, but a lot of them not. And if a computer sees something wrong, they ain't gonna be fucking with it. They're gonna reject it.
So the difference between the owner operator and your own authority, right? With the owner operator, you just leasing on to the company, right? And you just get that.
With the owner operator, you own the truck.
Right.
It's yours. You're responsible for the maintenance. You're not responsible for having the trailer, for insuring the freight, and for booking your loads. Unless it's a company like, who said they work for Mercer? Mercer, they got their own load board, don't they?
Yeah, I'm just showing him.
Right. Mercer, and I planned on showing that the screen ain't coming. And it's been over 3 weeks.
So you still got to go through that process, though.
What, the owner operator?
Yeah.
No.
You said Versa what got their own logo like JB Hunt and all that?
Yeah, most of these, we talked about that earlier when I was talking about the trucking company and the freight brokers. Most major trucking companies got their own load boards. But what they doing is putting the loads that they ain't covering on them. It's
It
bullshit.
doesn't make sense to them.
Well, it could, or they just ain't got nobody in the area. They still gonna make a chunk. But DAT load board is the best for me. I booked 100.
You made me purchase the bigger one because I just started to see, you know.
You don't need to.
I was doing a $40 one. It's just
No,
like-
I use the $40.
Use the $40.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I use.
So you use that. So the only reason I bought the bigger one is just because I want, like you said, I want to see the lanes of the flatbeds. Well, I don't know what's the average on what I should be bidding for. That's why I kind
Well-
of that 30-day average, the 15-day average.
Well, you can't.
And I kind of dictate off of that.
You can't go out there at 100% and give you a range. They just switched over to DAT 1. So you're going to get that anyway. The higher packages give you the triangulation where they help you book loads in conjunction with other loads. Like if it's dead overhead, it'll get you to a place where it's paying high. So you can triple your loads up. And it'll show you a freight map.
How much you pay for the highway?
That's
Like a buck something.
I'm not selected no more. So.
Yeah, but you can only
I
use.
was paying $400 to select.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I book 100% off of my loads. Every
The
single
$40 one, right?
Every single load that I never showed y'all. I've had that one, but it's no good unless you on an iPad or a computer or a laptop. Yeah, or if you're a tech,
You can't see everything on it.
or if you're a tech person and you switch it to website mode or whatever mode that is.
Yeah, that's why I bought that. Never got because that helped out a lot. That has like its own internet.
Right. So
Because of that, this is because of it. I'm trying to be out there and booking loads is tough. That's a task.
right now imagine how well. That goes back to what I was saying about him, about your own person. It's not hard for me. I drove down the road, dispatched a 7 truck without skipping a beat. But imagine the difficulty you have trying to book loads and drive and doing all that stuff straight from the beginning, learning it all at once. That's why I tell people to get the load board as soon as they file for their authority so you can get access. It ain't nothing but $40 a month. That's what, $1.25, $1.10 a day? That's less than a cigarette. Less than a bottle of water, less than 2 bananas. That's not worth your future. So you don't want to do this and then wait till you got the truck, you got the insurance. And now, I remember when I first started adding drivers, I was cool by myself. Now I got these other guys to look out for. I was in New York, traffic hella high. I'm trying to get through traffic and book them. Man, I was so stressed out that first day. I pulled over. But after 2-3 weeks of that, I'm driving, booking, emailing, filling out carrier packages. All of this moving. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm saying that's what I've done. And that's what gave me the experience that I moved fluent. Now, the only hiccups that you're going to run into after you get all of this stuff down is your maintenance. I'm telling you, the paperwork will break you. Maintenance will break you, but maintenance will break your spirit as well. Paperwork will break you. Maintenance will break you as well. But on top of breaking you, that shit will break your spirit. It will make you not even want to do it. It'll make you say, I'm better off driving for somebody sometimes.
Yeah.
But then when you
Question
got...
me a couple times before.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, but if you fall, see, it's a trick. Because if you fall for the trick, then you ain't gonna be able to benefit in the good times. Like
that has
if you,
broke a lot of people too, the maintenance. That's what people say they've done it, but because of the maintenance, they quit.
yeah. But if you quit, you're not gonna be able to benefit. If you don't, I used to say this when I was in the streets: high risk, high reward. Look, a few months ago when everybody was pumped up about trucking, and if you ain't on a truck, you ain't get to partake in the months when we was making 60 grand solo. You see what I'm saying? You don't get that. You don't get to go to a bank and say, here's 6 months of my bank statements, right? Here's 300-something thousand in income. I want to buy this. I don't have no pay stubs, but this is what I generate. Can we work it out? You don't get that. You get going to work, getting paid on Friday, paying your bills, and coping with not having no more money after all your bills paid. That's why you have so many people self-medicate.
And then
Why you think?
They're hoping you don't lose your job.
Nah, don't forget what you said. Shit happens when you least expect it. It's right after you think you took care of everything.
Yeah, that too.
It happens, bro.
And here's another trick. Here's the big one. You talking about the maintenance. This life shit is gonna happen anyway.
Anyway.
You can't stop. Just like I was talking about the maintenance, man, if it's a win, shit is gonna happen. It's nothing you can. Nobody escaped life without the trials.
Stay ready.
It's not. Everybody got different trials, and then say you done made it to an age where you think you got over this shit, and then you talk about the man, that shit to come on your kids, all that shit she thought she got away with. Hey, you wonder why they tripping, and you done did all the best you could do, so they ain't got to go through what you went through. Now, the shit you thought you was scot-free from, they dealing with, they ain't even witnessing. That's how life is. You don't get away with nothing. You don't get caught for everything, but you don't get away with nothing.
Talk about it.
So you got to deal with that shit. So that's why. That's another reason why. It's not my main motivation, but what I was talking to y'all earlier about the cycle of life and stuff coming back. That's why I focus on putting out more good than bad. And then, you know, maybe it'll even out all the bad, not even about coming back, because then your motive is I'm giving to get.
Get back, right.
See what I'm saying? And then God, He reads your heart, right? If you ain't right, you be knowing all that shit for nothing.
But I must say though,
But you gotta even the balance. You gotta tip the scales, and you want to put it in the favor of the good, not the bad. And that's what this whole life thing is about. That's why I always talk about having a house. You Muslim, right? Y'all believe in Jesus? You gotta think about it. Matter of fact, you ain't never heard a Muslim prove Islam without using the Bible. I'm not talking about which one is right or wrong or supreme. What I'm talking about is they're both valid. Right.
Yeah.
So, I just want to get an understanding of the coming up under somebody else's operating authority.
Yes.
So that's like being an owner operator, but instead of working for a company, like he said, you have a friend or something that say you can come up under my authority and you get a higher cut.
Yes. So, but you got more responsibility. So, 3 stages: company driver, owner operator, owner authority. Some of these numbers have switched. I haven't been a company driver in a while. Back when I started, company drivers was making $900 to $1,200 a week. In the summer, spring, all that shit, you make $1,500 to $1,600. But you can guarantee that 9 to 12, depending on, you know, you. Then your owner operators will purchase a truck and become employed by that company, who would give them free. They was making $2,500, $3,000, $3,500. I had weeks where I was making $4,200 down the port, but I was running hard as hell. So it's a part of my nature. I don't sit still.
So that goes under their authority.
Right.
So I don't file no authority, I just file LLC and buy the truck.
And if you want to, you don't have to file an LLC. You can buy a truck and just sign up on them. Some of them will make you get an LLC in order to separate their tax purposes, but you don't. My first month, I ain't do all that. I was home for a year. I worked construction job, putting up lights as my main job, aside from the other stuff I was doing. I was delivering pizza at Domino's and working as a flagger and doing limos and all that type of stuff. And I did that for 9 months, then I got my first trucking job. I did that for 1 side of the year, then I bought my first truck. I didn't have an LLC. I got it assigned on to the company, they paid me directly and I took my money. But to answer your question, a big company has company drivers. And some of them have owner operators as well. Company drivers is going to get paid by the hour or by the percentage or by the load or piece count if you deliver food. Owner operators get paid a percentage. So if a load pay $1,000, you may get $700 or $750. But you're responsible for having a truck and maintaining that truck. So that's where the responsibility comes in. So you're going to see more money. I encourage this because when you over here as a company driver, by the time they take the taxes and stuff you was talking about, healthcare and all this, if you make $1,000, you probably only see $650, something like that. So how are you going to be able to save up to get here?
And they not teaching you how to fish.
Unless you are a 1099 for a smaller trucking company, then you get to see all your money and you can save it faster. And that goes back to what I was talking about, where you make more money with these smaller companies because they let you run more.
Yeah,
And some of them will pay you more because they need drivers.
Because I had someone tell me that I could do it. He's a friend that was like, you know.
You don't need to do that. From the split second that and we'll talk more, but because of your situation, you don't need to do it. You can skip that whole entire session. What you want to do is drive 3 to 6 months so you don't go put your money out there. I don't want your business off. But you don't want to go and move to the last step with your own truck and then stuff start happening. And then it all just become a money pit. Because the stuff that you're going to learn here that you can only learn by trial and error. And there's no way around it. I've ripped doors off, I broke clutches, broke fifth wheels. I'm talking about broke. I'm not talking about it broke. I'm talking about from mistakes. Pulling off from the dock and you thought the doors was locked and swing open and rip the doors open. You pulling forward and the door swing open right when you about to turn and it bends somebody's whole door. You can't prepare for these and you want to learn that stuff on somebody else's dime. See what I'm saying? But you don't have to do this. And if somebody trying to encourage you to be an owner operator, unless they got something that's local, and you coming home every day. All right, brother, thanks for coming out. I appreciate you. Unless you got something that's local, when you coming home every day, and it really, really fits your schedule, and you making a few $1,000s a week after everything, I wouldn't do it. This is a stepping stone. Matter of fact, this is the most dangerous portion.
So on average, when
Let me finish this before you go. The reason why this is so dangerous is because it's too comfortable. You can actually make a decent living as an owner operator. You can really live an okay life as an owner operator, and it'll take the hunger from you to the point it kills your ambition to where you don't want to get your own authority and deal with the responsibility of dealing with the paperwork and all this stuff. You still gonna have to deal with maintenance. Maintenance ain't going nowhere, and it still will break you and break your spirit. But it's breaking you off of less money. So for the minuscule hassle of this, unless you local, if it's an owner-operated place and you local, and I remember I was working with big boys, I was spending like $150 a week in diesel. We were leaving out the port, delivering to the freezer around the corner. Right, but I'm still making a couple grand a week, and I ain't spending nothing. And I'm home every day, and I'm off on the weekend. Now, I could live a decent life off of $2,500, $2,800, $32 when it's all right, and I ain't spent not even $200, and I ain't burning. It ain't no maintenance because I ain't going nowhere. You can live a good life off of that, but it's gonna kill your ambition from going here. But when you go here, local is an option when you're on the operator. When you get out there on your own authority, it may not be an option. You can always do it, but there's times where you need that money. I need to get that. They paying how much to go there? Damn, shit. I'll just do it one time. Just once. That's how I start. I was supposed to go over the road 6 months and come back. I never planned on going over the road. I didn't even know nothing about the road. I couldn't go over the road because I was on parole. I was forced to work down the port. I did that for 6 years. And then, and that's another thing, don't go buy no bunch of trucks as an owner-operator. That's one of the lessons I learned. Because I remember I was running, I'm doing swell. I'm one of the top runners over there. Then I go buy 2 trucks. Dispatch say, what do you think you're doing? I'm talking verbatim. I ain't talking sensualized. Look me dead in the eye. And then this 3,000, 3,500 I'm making a week turn into both of them making it together. Because they looking at you 27? What you need $10,000, $12,000 a week for? Nah, let me slow you up. You getting lower too. They used to call uppity niggas back in the day. Yeah, you moving too fast. And they have the power to do that. That's what I'm talking about with how you can do it in 60 days. Because that was the straw that broke my back when I was in Atlanta. And the fire truck hit me. And they took my last check, $2,200. It had me down to nothing. That's when I realized I don't own the company because they control my finances. So that's why I made up my mind when we was talking about up here and got so emotionally invested because I was angry. Anger is emotion. That's what made me go so hard. I remember they go, Sean, you work like you got a dream. You got a dream, Sean? You got that right. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck my dream is. And that's what I did. So they have too much power over your future. If they like you, when you working as an owner operator, they got 20, 30 trucks they dispatch. They trying to get the loads moving. They ain't trying to say, oh, she's so sweet. Let me make sure she get a good check. When you dispatching your own loads, you on the load board looking, what is the best load paying me right now? That's what I want. You are your top priority. You don't want your fate to be in somebody else's hand. That's dangerous. You can make a decent living here. Say they fired dispatchers. Say they switched dispatchers. Say the company changed. Say that all that rapport you had with them. Say you don't like the person. Say they don't like you. Your hair too nice. You ain't no truck driver. I'm trailer trailer. Who you think you is? You slow that down. And they have the power to do that. So you wanna be careful with that. And I'm not talking about no ethnic group specifically. I'm speaking from experiences that I've had, and I'm telling y'all, just like when I was talking about with sports, tennis, golf, see how we got it and took over? This was not a black sport. It has become one, and now it's becoming a black woman's sport. I'm telling y'all brothers better get it together. Y'all gonna be behind the ball. Are behind the ball and gonna get further behind if you don't get it together. But we coming into this, and that's why you see all these people talking about trucking now. And I'm telling you, everybody don't like that. And nobody likes to see you making too much money. A dispatcher is only making like 40, 50,000, maybe 60,000, 1,200 a week. By the time taxes and all that stuff, they down to what, 825, 750, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't have multiple kids. And you run around jipper because you done made a few $1,000s in a week that it take me a whole month to make. And I got the power to slow or speed you up. People take advantage of that. Power is dangerous. Anybody got any questions? I think what we talking about teaching. I'm gonna do these four. These are the four. I read a book one time and it talks about begin with the end in mind. So that's why I started with the 4 phases. There's 3 steps: company driver, owner operator, owner starter.
All right.
All right. You got my number? Give me a call. Okay. Thank you. It's 4 phases. Company driver, 3 to 6 months, just so you can get your experience. Owner operator, 1 year, just so you can save $15,000 in order to become, somebody with their own authority and save a $10,000 repair fund. Once you got your repair fund, that's going to get you out of jail, just keep you in business. Then you can upgrade your life and start buying the things you want, going to places you want to go, and not have the pressure of things happening and going wrong and you not being prepared. So you got any questions? Okay. It's that's all, y'all.
I got a question. The middle one, what's the middle one say again? After owner operator say 15K?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, bro.
It's so owner operator and then own authority.
Look, this down here ain't nothing but this.
Yeah.
All these differences to upgrade your life. These are the
You
three
making up
phases
with the
of
bus
truck.
trip, man? You making up with the bus trip?
Oh, everything's still good.
That's good. I'm just getting Yeah? Or you coming for the truck?
I got four. I only got two.
Okay.
They get the
You sell?
Yeah, I gave it to my nephew. My nephew just came home.
That's how I started following